What would you do if you looked up at the sky and saw a big hole where the sun normally lies? It takes more planning to paint something like that than it does to paint something a little more grounded in reality. Painting from imagination has more responsibility attached to it than painting real-world objects. Translating something that only exists in your imagination into something that works as a painting isn't easy work. This painting and my imagination are two different entities. So painting from imagination means accepting that one will never fully translate into the other. In cases like this, where the actual painting looks very different than what I had imagined, it means I need to either adjust my concept or make what I have work through the power of even more imagination. For this study, I chose the latter approach. For me to paint a hole in the sky, it means thinking about what kind of image would enter the viewer's mind when they look at this as a painting. A painting can only ever be an abstraction of reality and never a true depiction, no matter how realistic it may appear. This means a little bit of detail can go a long way in depicting a scene from your imagination. The more abstracted something is, the more the little details matter when it comes to how it appears. Since this is such a simple composition, I need to spend more time thinking about what I'm painting than I do actually painting. To turn your imagination into a painting, it involves asking a lot of technical questions that don't even come up in the land of imagination. In the case of painting a hole in the sky, it means thinking about the line where reality ends and fantasy begins, and how both transition into one another. For this study, I chose a hard line to define the vacuum of space like a portal in the sky. I chose this approach because 1, there's only so much detail that can fit in a small study, and 2, a more complex transition would take more time than I would want to allot to a small study that's not the actual painting I'm planning. Studies like this are a way of developing confidence to do a larger painting of something you otherwise would have never painted before. Even with extensive planning, many things in the larger painting will be done on the fly. This is simply the nature of painting. Doing studies before the bigger painting means I will only paint things I've painted before, even though both the concept and subjects are new to me. This takes a lot of the potential stress out of having lots of things happen on the fly, and makes the sometimes unpredictable process of painting that much more enjoyable. Studies allow you to branch out in your concepts and subjects, while at the same time sticking to the familiar. There aren't many opportunities to do that in the world of art. Studies may look like they take extra time, but they actually save time in the long run by preventing a lot of major mistakes. While failure is part of the process of painting new subjects and exploring new concepts, it doesn't have to happen in your larger piece where you've invested a lot of time and maybe money as well. Having a safe place to fail means you get the benefit of taking risks, and also get to minimize the potential downsides of those risks. Studies are that safe place to fail.